All right, everyone, welcome. Thank you again for your great efforts and sacrifices being here. We totally appreciate that. Thank you all to all the chiefs, your excellencies, everyone across the waters for joining in this great global peace effort to bring about unity and trust and faith and building relationships. We just want to say thank you. We greet you from the Academy of Universal Global Peace. This is one of the chief, I'm sure. Just bear with me 1 second. Hello? Oh my God. If I wasn't expecting somebody to join in, I would never take that call. Somebody's trying to solicit. All right, so today we're gonna start back up with, we've taught this class before, but it has been expanded. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about leadership. We're gonna talk about the 5 levels of leadership and how we can apply those principles in our daily lives to make better first ourselves, our families, the people that we lead and interact with on a daily basis. I am the Chief Governor for the Academy of Universal Global Peace USA. My chairman is Dr. Madhu Krishan, who is currently in a conference with over 4,000 people in India at the moment, and he sends his regards. So we're going to start off talking about the 5 levels of leadership.
Exactamente, que el niño disléxico, que la letra le brincaban así.
So, all right. So we're going to cover today quite a few different things. Number one, we're going to talk about position, permission, production, people, and personhood. And we're going to look at why people follow their leaders. And as leaders, we have followers. How do we lead our followers? Going on to slide 3. Okay, my apologies. The only reason I'm entertaining those things is because I know people are trying to get in. 5 levels of leadership. Number 1, position. Position brings us into rights. People follow you because they have to. And we're gonna talk about position and why people follow you because they have to. Number 2 would be permission, which brings about relationships. People follow because they want to. And number 3, production. Production brings results. People follow because of what you've done for them, for the organization, and for the team. Number 4, people development, which brings production. People follow because of what you've done for them. And number 5, personhood, which brings respect. People follow because of who you are and what you represent. And as leaders, we have to represent something. And if what we're doing is not representing us in the right way, we need to readjust. So today we're talking about the 5 levels of leadership. And once again, I want to say thank you everyone for your time, your patience in getting started today. We apologize for the rough start. So we're going to talk about position. People follow you because they have to. And we're going to use a biblical example of a king by the name of Rehoboam. And talking about the law of lid. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Now, what is the law of lid? What is a lid? A lid is a cover. Think about the kitchen, which everybody should be familiar with. When we put food on the stove, we put it in a pot to cook, we put a cover on it. to keep it from flowing over, keep something inside. So what happens is, on the same token, that lid prevents things from being spilled. So we're going to talk about the example today. And I'm reading from 1 Kings 11:43. 11:43. And Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, his father. And Rehoboam, his son, reigned in his stead. So Solomon was the son of David, King David. Solomon was the king. He had a son whose name was Rehoboam. And at that time, when Solomon passed and he died, his son became the reigning king. Automatically, he became king. And he had to lead his people. He had to lead his people. He was caught in a situation where he had decisions to make. And I'm going to read from chapter 12, a couple of verses. And verse 1 says, and Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king, because his father had passed away. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt. And verse 3, and they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, your father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore, make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us, lighter, that we will serve thee. Before I go on to verse 5, King Solomon had put some very stringent rules on the sect of people of Israel because of their rebellion. And Jeroboam was the leader. So when the king passed away and the son was about to take his place, the leader came to the son asking him, show us mercy and we will serve you. We'll cooperate with you. We will do what's best for you. Verse 5, and he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again unto me. And the people departed. So he asked them to give him 3 days to make a decision as to what he was going to do. And verse 6, and King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon, his father, while he yet lived, and said, how do you advise that I may answer this people? Verse 7. And they spake unto him, saying, the elders, this was the elders speaking to Rehoboam, who was about to be king. If you deal with a servant unto his people this day, and will serve them and answer them and speak good words to them, and then they will be your servants forever. So in other words, the elders advised that if he treat the servants good, talk to them with respect, speak kind words, speak good words, that they will serve him forever. Verse 8, and it says, Rehoboam, but he forsook the counsel of the old men when they had given him, and consulted the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. So he received the counsel of the old men, who told him to be kind to his servants, speak good words to them, treat them like human beings, be humane. He listened to that, and he just turned a deaf ear and a blind eye and decided to go consult with his young friends who have no idea how to lead the people. And verse 9, and he said unto them, what counsel give ye that we may answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did upon us lighter. Verse 10, and the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto the people that spake unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than thy father's loins. Verse 11, now whereas my father did laid you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father had chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. That's pretty harsh. So the young men advised him to be even more harsh with the people instead of showing mercy and being kind to them, the people that he led. Verse 12, so Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam, which is the king, the third day, and the king had appointed, saying, come to me again on the third day. And verse 13, and the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him. Verse 14, and he spake unto them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people for the cause from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. Verse 16, so when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inherited in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel, now see thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. And verse 17, but as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. And verse 18, King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones that he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot, flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. All right, so we're talking about raising the lid, and from being a leader from a positional standpoint, just because you were given a position as a leader, not because you earned it, not from a standpoint of respect, but a position of being chosen. Rehoboam became king, and he had a people to lead. He did the wise thing first. He went to the leaders, to the elders of the city, and consulted with them, and they gave him advice that would be best for leading the people. He disregarded that and chose to consult with the boy leaders, the young men who had no experience, no idea how to lead people. And what have they done? They gave him the advice of on the opposite side of what the older men had advised him to do, which was the best advice. And from that moment onward, all he received was a rebellion. See, as we lead people, we need to consider what the followers, our followers, what are they saying to us? We need to have an ear for their voice and listen to what they're saying. People cry out in many different ways, and as leaders, we must hear their cries. We must hear their cries, and we must not turn a blind ear to it, as Rehoboam did. Because of what he had done, the people turned against him from a positional standpoint. So just to recap on a couple thoughts on Rehoboam. He became king by position. The people came to him and sought relief from hardship. He consulted with the elders, and they spake unto him, saying, if you will be a servant unto this people to this day and serve them, they'll in other words, you serve them, they serve you. And they will be your servants forever. Instead, he consulted with the boy leaders without experience, forsook the wise counsel of the elders, took the bad advice from the boys, imposed extreme hardship on the people. People lost all hope and faith in the king. The people rebelled. The followers stopped following. So the couple thoughts here is that from a positional standpoint, if we are not directly interacting with the people and hearing the cry of their hearts to lead the people, we could cause a rebellion instigated by our own selves. The law of lid. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Number one, you can only go as far as you know. We are all limited by our knowledge, what we have learned. Example, if someone within this group that's here present tonight is a medical surgeon, a doctor, and you're traveling in a car and the car broke down, and let's just say, for example, one part of the car, like a fan belt or something, is loose. You're not a mechanic, but you specialize in surgery, in dealing with the human body, but not with the car. You would be limited, not knowing what to do to fix that situation. But if somebody was hurt as a medical professional who knows how to handle the human body, you would be able to fix that situation. So you can only go as far as you know. Number two, the higher the leadership, the greater the effectiveness. You want to be a great leader? Then you have to invest in yourself to become effective. Number three, your leadership ability always determines your effectiveness and the potential of your organization. Number four, if your leadership is only a 4, then your effectiveness will only be a 3. Number 5, weak leadership will put a lid on your ability to succeed. That's weak leadership. Number 6, the greater the impact you want to make, the greater your influence needs to be. Number 7, whatever you will accomplish is restricted by your ability to lead others. Number 8, to challenge the effectiveness of the team, lift up the leadership of the coach. Number 9, to reach the highest level of effectiveness, you have to raise the lid one way or the other. Now, I was sharing with someone earlier this week about change. We talk about change, and it sounds like a very passive conversation. However, change is very uncomfortable. And just sometimes when we need to make progress in our lives, we need change. We are forever constantly changing. There is nothing that is as permanent as change because we need change. It causes us to grow. It causes us to succeed. It causes us to expand. But it makes us uncomfortable in the process. 5 level of leadership. Point 2, permission. People follow you because they want to. And a typical example here is Nehemiah, the law of connection. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. You know, it's just like sometimes how we treat God. We always pray and ask God to do something for us. And we want this and we want that. And there's nothing wrong in wanting this or wanting that or wanting more and wanting things to go well. But we oftentimes focus on what's in the hand rather than focusing on the heart. If you go after the heart and you get the heart, then you get everything in the hand. So Nehemiah, I'm going to read some of the verses. Nehemiah was the king's cupbearer. And every time the king had to partake of food or drink, as being the cupbearer, Nehemiah would take a drink first. He would taste the food first. So if somebody would have put poison into the food or the drink of the king to try in an attempt to kill him, the king's cupbearer would die first. Because he was the taster. He was the king's first line of defense. Nothing got past him. He would die first. And Nehemiah heard about a situation where Israel and Jerusalem, where the walls was broken down and the city was burnt and trashed, and it really bothered him because the children of Israel was his people. And Nehemiah thought to himself how sad that made him. And when he came before the king to participate in the king's food and drink before the king had to eat, the king noticed that his countenance was sad. And the king asked him, "Why is your countenance so sad? Why do you cry? Why do you seem so broken down?" And Nehemiah explained to the king, "I'm sad because of this one reason. My people are in shambles. The walls of Jerusalem is broken down, and I'm here, I'm sort of feeling down about all of that, and I don't know what to do." And then because of his connection with the king, see, he was the king's cupbearer. And the king asked him, "What would you have? What would you do? What can I do to help you?" And I'm going to read on verse 2 on the last of the slide. It says, "Wherefore the king said unto me, Why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart." But he became afraid. I mean, being before the king and he's asking you a question like that, and you're his servant. In fact, you're the guy that's tasting his food and tasting his drink with the possibility of dying if somebody tried to kill the king. So see, because of his connection, he explained to the king. I'm going to read verse 5. He said to the king, "And I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, their graves, that I may build it." And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, "For how long shall thy journey be? And when will you return?" And he said, "If it please the king, send me." If it pleases the king. See, there's a way as leaders, when we want to get things done, our approach is very important. Verse 7, and because of his connection with the king, verse 7 says, "Moreover, I said to the king, if it please the king, let letters be given to me." So what Nehemiah had done, he secured letters from the king that when he went through the forest where they had timber that was worth a lot of money that would be required to rebuild a house and rebuild the walls, and got the permission from the king to travel, got the permission with a letter from the king that he would present to the keepers. And via those letters and the permission of the king, he achieved his purpose. He achieved his purpose. I scroll down to the end. I'm going to read on verse 17, and it says, "Then said I unto them, you see the distress that we're in, how Jerusalem lies waste, and the gates thereof are burnt with fire. Come, and let us build up the walls of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach." No more a reproach. Verse 18, "Then I told them of the hand of God that was upon me, and also of the king's word that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build." So they strengthened their hands for this good work. This is a leader that was functioning by permission. First, the permission that God gave him, and secondly, the permission of the king, who actually gave his authority, his blessings, his approval, and a letter to go forward to rebuild Jerusalem. He said, if it pleased the king. He was given the letters to go show on to the governors and to convey to them that he was not operating as a rogue, but under permission. He was a leader that rose to the occasion, crafted great connection, and built relationships. See, he had a relationship with the king. Although he was the king's servant, he had a relationship with the king. He asked permission and approval from his authority. He earned the right to lead. He earned the respect of the people. Had the ability to show his connection by identifying himself with God. Was able to show the approval and authority of the king. And he gained the full support of the people as a leader. The law of connection. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. Number one, you can't move people into action unless you first move them with emotion. The heart comes before the hand. Number two, the stronger the relationship and connection between individuals, the more likely the follower will want to help the leader. Number three, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Usually I ask the question here, does your followers know how much you care? Does the people that follow after you know how much you care? Number four, successful leaders connect with one person at a time and relate to them as individuals. How many times we get so busy where we forget about the people that we're leading and we connect with the favorites. We associate ourselves with a few of the favorite people and we leave the rest of them behind. Although they're following after us, we make time for only a few within the crowd of people that follows after us. Let me say that that needs to be fixed, because if we are leading people, we're not just leading the favorites, we're leading people, we're leading all of them. Number five, successful leaders initiate connection with people. You know how many times I've seen people in different places that would be all by themselves and not making connection. And we have to be some of those leaders where we can notice the people that are not being recognized and take a moment and go to recognize them and ask them how they're doing. Say hello to them. Say something upbuilding. Say something encouraging. Say something to lift them up. Successful leaders initiate connection with people. Number 6, never underestimate building relationships with people before asking them to follow you. Usually, when you have a relationship with someone and you ask them to follow you, they automatically just follow you and support your ideas, your views, your ideologies. Number 7, when a leader has done the work to connect with the people, the vision of the leader becomes the aspiration of the people. That's after the work has been done to connect with the people. However, I will ask a question though. As leaders, we all have vision. Does our followers know what our vision is? Second question there. Do we know what our true vision is? Do we have an understanding of our own vision? Is it clear? Do we have our vision written down that it's so clear that the people can see it? We're not teaching about vision tonight. There's something that we'll touch on later on. But that's just a thought. Number 8, to lead yourself, use your head. To lead others, use your heart. On the 5 levels of leadership, point number 3, production. People follow you because of what you've done for the organization or church. The law of respect. People naturally follow a leader stronger than themselves. Let me just respond to one of our, Dr. Steele is trying to get in here, and for some reason he's not getting in.
Tonic is having trouble too.
I don't know why, because there's so many people that's able to come on. I don't know what to do about that right at the moment. I mean, the link is very clear. I just tested it. I've had people click on the link and get right on without having to do anything else. I'm not sure what they're doing or how it's showing up on their phone. Okay, we continue on. So Israel was in battle against the Philistines, and the Philistines had a giant who was 9 feet tall. I mean, these days you see a guy that's 7 feet tall and he's like, whoa, you gotta look up there just to look at him. So Goliath was a very big guy, a giant. And he would come every day before the armies of Israel and curse against God and tell them that, you know, you Israelites are like dogs. Why don't you send somebody else? Send out a man to fight with me. Send out a worthy man, somebody that I can really fight. Don't send these little boys who just to waste my time. I want a real man to come out and fight me. And the battle was strong. And of all the people of Israel, you know, these back in those days, the fathers of the elders, they would send their firstborn, their full-grown sons to represent them in battle. And David, King David, who later became king, at that point he was a young lad, just keeping the sheep tending to the sheep of his father. And one day, his father said to him, take some food for your brothers who is at the camp. David decided to take the food to his brothers. And while he was out there, he heard this Philistine soldier, giant, who was defying God, saying things that's, totally defaming and degrading of God. And he got pretty upset. And he asked the question, why is this guy allowed to do this and nobody's doing anything? And everybody's looking at him like, are you crazy? Do you see the giant out there? And he's like, he's just another guy to me. He ain't nothing special. But that was their perception of him. See, I'm going to talk about the lion, just a thought about the lion and the elephant for a moment. When an elephant sees a lion, the elephant sees himself as food for the lion. And he gets scared. As big as the elephant is, as although he knows that he may not know that in his mind or see himself as being the elephant, the biggest animal in the jungle, the strongest animal in the jungle. But when the lion sees the elephant, the lion don't see the strongest, biggest animal in the jungle. The lion sees food, like steak, dripping with sauce. And he gets himself ready. I'm going to eat me an elephant today. But the lion is not the strongest animal in the jungle. He's not the bravest. He's not the smartest. Yet, what happens? It's a matter of how you see yourself. So David did not care about what the giant thought. His perception is he's just another man. So he would cry every day before Israel, telling them, send out a man, send me a worthy man that would come and fight with me. Every day he would present himself. So when the king heard about David and the claims he was making, he called David before him and asked David, what makes you so special? Why do you think that you can defeat this giant? I've sent my best men out there and they were killed. You're just a young man. You're a kid. And what makes you so special? Why do you think you can accomplish this? And David said to him, well, while I was tending to my father's sheep, a lion came at me and I ripped him apart with my bare hands. And immediately after, a bear came after me to devour my father's sheep. And I held him again. I grabbed him by the beard and I pulled his jaws apart and I killed him with my bare hands. And the king looked at him and said, whoa, feisty young man, huh? So then the king said, okay, I'm convinced. I'm going to send you out there to fight the giant. Good luck. Probably in the mind of the king, he's thinking, we're going to get his coffin all ready to go. He's going to be the next one dead. David took the time though. He went down and he took the king at that point tried to put his own armor upon David to get him ready to go out to battle. And David threw off the armor and he said, I don't need any of that. I got a slingshot. I got a little bag here. I'm going to go down to the river. I'm going to go down to the brook and choose me some fine, smooth stones where I can use this little thing that I've proven, this armor that I have proven, and make it work for me. Now, I'm going to share some thoughts. I know it's some of us are familiar with the church concept of the fivefold ministry, which is the apostles, the prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers. But I'm going to share a thought with you. It's something very important to take notice of. David went down to the brook and he chose 5 smooth stones. Often we look at the stones and we count it as 5, and we miss an important factor. I don't know how many of you have ever been to the beach and you look at, for me, it's a little fascinating. I look at all the stones and the wood and everything that gets washed up on the shore, how it was beaten by the water and made to be smooth. They were not always smooth. They were not always cut to be round, but because of the constant beating of the water. And, some of them might have come from a different part of the world, being transported by the water to where they are, making them very unique. And he chose these 5 smooth stones, put them in the bag. And when he faced the giant, when he was faced with the giant, he dipped his hand in his bag and he chose one of those 5 smooth stones, put it in his slingshot, and he aimed it at the giant and let him have it. And that was it. He was out. Here's an important factor there. When he put in his hand in the bag to choose the stone, do you believe that those stones, their characteristic, their makeup, where they came from, their color might have all varied? Look at it this way. We're faced with so much of racism and people looking at color and culture and all the different ways that we're all made up different, and people form allegations and being judgmental to different people. But he dipped his hand in the bag and just chose one of those rocks. He did not, I don't believe he held it in his hand and looked at it to figure out if the stone was, I'm going to choose the white stone to kill this giant. I'm going to choose the black stone to kill the giant. I'm going to choose the brown stone to kill the giant. He just chose one of the stones. And I'm fascinated by that. There's many more things I can share from a spiritual perspective, but we'll stay focused on the point. He chose a stone that was capable of doing the job, not preferring one above the other. And he slayed the giant. The giant fell on the ground. He took his own sword and chopped his head off. Respect. Israel was at war with the Philistines. A 9-foot giant came against them. They were all in fear of being defeated. David, a young man with the courage and strength, decided to go forward, chose 5 smooth stones and defeated the giant with it. He cut off the head of the giant. Production. His only mission was to get the job done. But he earned the respect of all Israel. The law of respect. People naturally follow a leader stronger than themselves. When people respect someone as a person, they admire them. When they respect them as a friend, they love them. When they admire them as a leader, they follow them. The more leadership ability a person has, the more quick he recognizes leadership or its lack in others. A leader must know he knows and must be able to make it abundantly clear to those about him that he knows. Successful leaders display incredible loyalty and respect towards his people. Great leaders invest in an enormous amount of time and energy in building relationships and adding value to the lives of his people. Successful leaders spend a lifetime in developing their leadership skills. Point number 4, people development. People follow you because of what you've done for them. want to share some thoughts about Paul in the New Testament. And in the very beginning, Paul was a guy that persecuted the early Christians that was following after Jesus. And there came a time when God appeared to him and asked him, why are you persecuting me? Why are you doing the opposite in my name and hurting people? And his life was transformed, and he began preaching and teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. And Paul was the one that persecuted the church more than anybody else. But I want to just share some thoughts with you as far as the message he was preaching. He was preaching a message of unity, of oneness, of togetherness, all leading people back to God. He says in Ephesians 4:13, it says, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. That we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about in every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things. Here's a thought. We might all be in line to receive an inheritance from our fathers, our families that may have material things. But as long as we are in a state of immaturity in our minds, in who we are, we can only attain to so much. We can only take claim to what we are able to manage, to comprehend. And sometimes we have to realize that it takes putting out efforts beyond the norm. As leaders, we have to go the extra mile. Our goal as leaders should be to build our people, lead them in a direction, make the sacrifice for our followers to be self-developed. In John 14, Jesus had to go, but he says, if I go, I would leave you the comforter who would comfort you, and I would not leave you comfortless. We need to, as leaders, consider our followers and what we invest into them, how we treat them, and what we are training them into to be able to take a part in the legacy that they follow. And verse 16 in John 14 says, and I will pray the Father that he give you another comforter, that he would abide with you. Verse 18 says, and I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more, but you see me, because I live, ye shall live also. And that they shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. There was a message that Jesus had preached about oneness and becoming one with God. And Paul followed up with that message, preaching the same thing, that not for any man to be greater than he ought to think, not for any man to think that he's better than anybody else, but to preach the oneness of God, which we are preaching today, which we're teaching today about unity and oneness and the love of Christ and building global peace, which takes an effort from everyone. The law of explosive growth. To add growth, lead followers. To multiply, lead leaders. Our goal should be that of building leaders out of our followers to cause growth. A successful leader builds the people who are going to build. To develop leaders, you must develop people. Add 10 followers to your organization and you have 10 people. Add 10 leaders and you will have the power of 10 leaders. To go to the highest level, you must have to develop leaders of leaders. To add growth, lead followers. But to multiply growth, lead leaders. The only way to experience an explosive level of growth is to do the math. Train 1 out of every 10 people to develop as a leader. And that's a very great thought as leaders, what we should be doing. The last story I'm going to tell before we wrap up this session is about a young man by the name of Gideon. People will follow you because of who you are and what you represent. And in this day, in this age, in this time, it's all about what we represent. The law of influence. The true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. At that point, Gideon was called by the Lord to lead his people against the Midianites. And he had over 30,000 people show up to go to war. And God said to him, guess what? You're not going to go with 30,000 people. So I'm going to have you cut that down a little bit. So at one point he told them, he says, you know what? He told his people, any of you who has families and young kids and you want to step out of the battle, you can go home. I'm not going to hold it against you. You can leave. Some of them dropped out. So he gave them every opportunity to go back and not be part of the battle. And quite a lot of them left. When he had gotten down from 30,000, he ended up with 300 people because God said to him, if you go with 30,000 people and you win this battle, you're going to think that you did it with your own strength. But I want you to go in there knowing that you've done it with my strength because I was with you and I empowered you to do so. So because the people were too many, he had to cut them down and bring it down to a minimum amount of 300 people. And God gave him the victory. So we're talking about the law of influence. The true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. As influence increases, it will enable your ability to make things happen. True leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, must be earned. It's not the position that makes the leader, but the leader that makes the position. To be an effective leader, you must earn the right. He who thinks he leads but has no followers is only talking a walk. He's only taking a walk. If you can't influence others, they won't follow you. Climbing the steps of leadership. The higher you go, the longer it takes. The higher you go, the higher the level of commitment. The higher you go, the easier it is to lead. The higher you go, the greater the growth. You never leave the base level or the levels below where you are. As a leader, you won't be on the same level with all of your people. You must work to carry other leaders with you up the steps. A good leader believes in his people. Take them with you. Know their names. Leave none behind. Watch over them. Show them you care. Invest in them. Do they know that you care? Consistently ask God to build you into a more effective leader. Develop confidence in your people's skills. See every relationship as you have as a chance to develop that person. Walk slowly through the crowds. Consistently keep a list of potential leaders you can invest in. Continually build yourself. Sharpen your people's skills. Continue to build relationships that will allow you the opportunity to build people. Take time to get to know the people. Say hello. Consistently seek to make leaders out of followers. The Jesus principle. 3 things Jesus did to develop disciples. He inspired them, he instructed them, he involved them. Love unconditionally, serve without limits. Building the leadership. To become great, you must become small. To be the greatest leader means that you must be the greatest servant. That was a quote by Mother Teresa. Treat all people, great or small, with love and respect. Recognize the unrecognized. Have a 5-minute conversation. Target the lonely and make a friend. Give something first. Reach out first. Engage with love, respect, and care. All right, this brings us to the end of this first session on leadership. Hello, everyone. I'm so blessed to see so many people today, and my apologies. I truly apologize. What happened earlier was, it was sad because I know everybody made such a great effort. I want to applaud you for that. I know people have been trying. I can't apologize enough. It was not done intentionally, and I believe you are owed an explanation, so I will explain. I upgraded the Zoom to be able to accommodate everyone. And the appointment that I had set to start exactly at 6 was automatically deleted from my Zoom. So, and then I realized, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I sent out the other link, and some people had some great challenges. So I'm not deleting it. I did not delete it personally. It was done automatically. I did upgrade already, so this is not gonna happen again. So my apologies. I know it must have been frustrating, but thank you so much. You have been, everybody has been very patient and kind, and thank you. So we've come to the end of this session. Usually we leave open a couple of minutes to fellowship and talk about what we taught tonight. I'm going to ask if we can unmute people that have your cameras. You can come on, bring your cameras on. Dr. Steele, my apologies to you. I know you've been trying. Chief Donick, I'm so sorry. I know you have been trying greatly.
Wow.
I know so many people have been trying. My apologies. So,
Your Excellency, if I might first break the ice for you, with your permission, I would be pleased to do that.
yes, sir.
First, I want to take this opportunity to welcome every single one of you to this amazing program. You are with a very powerful team of individuals who are going to take your teaching and your understanding to the next level. I want to applaud the leadership of His Excellency Chief Governor Dr. Kiwi Kalloo, and he tries to make sure that everything is done with excellence to accommodate you and support what we're doing. I also want to acknowledge Chief Big Up, who advised me and pointed me the right way to get in. Thank you, Chief Big Up. I appreciate that. So ladies and gentlemen, you are in for an amazing 6 weeks. As a matter of fact, there are some of us that have become like a family in this training. And I can assure you that you are equally going to become a part of this very amazing family that you will soon come to realize I love very much. All of the chiefs that are in the house, again, I want to appreciate you. For every person who took the time to come, God bless you guys, and let's have a fantastic time. One.
Peace and love.
Thank you, Dr. Steele.
Dominic made it in. That's what's up. All right.
I want to welcome tonight. I know there's so many new faces, and we're going to get to know each other soon. Your Excellency, Raymond Groves. Chief, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for the invitation, and thank everyone for welcoming me. Much love to all, and looking forward to working with each and every one of you.
Same here. Chief Oakney, greetings.
Greetings, each and every one. Again, it's been a pleasure of being here. Thank you again, Your Excellency, Chief Governor, Dr. Kiwi Kalloo, and all respective chiefs. Again, it was a great training, and I look forward to going through this process with everyone who is not being able to have the special privilege of being taught by you. Dr. Kiwi Kalloo is going to be in for a special treat. So good.
Chief Meskwaki, I know you have made such a great effort. I applaud you, but I know you've been through a lot this evening. I must acknowledge you. You did a lot of work today.
All is well. All
I
is wonderful.
appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. His Excellency. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
It was a small ordeal, but I'm glad we were able to, overcome that situation. I think I'm
Great
missing
respect. Great respect.
Yes. I'm going to try to get I think I'm missing about probably 6 or 7 people. I was unable to keep up with everyone. I was so in a rush to get to the call to make sure I was present. And I'm glad everyone is here,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. So greetings to everyone. I hope you all who have attended have enjoyed. I'm Chief Meskwaki of the Sovereign Annual Nation, and it is a pleasure to have all attending. And I hope that I can have everyone for the following 5 weeks that we have left of these sessions. Peace and love.
Thank you very much. This is a good place to have the new folks, come on, just say hello. It's an open field. We'd love to have you say hello.
Your Excellency, with your permission, can I introduce the guests that I've invited? I've invited Doreen, who is out of Democratic Republic of Congo. I've also invited His Excellency. I have Olukoya and his wife. They're seated. Olukoya and his wife are out of Nigeria. I also have Reverend Daniel and his wife. They too are out of Nigeria. And I have a Bishop Comfort who is out of Ghana. So they are here with us as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's a great idea. Chief Meskwaki, can you introduce the people that came on with you tonight so we don't leave out anybody?
Yes. Currently, we have Noble Beecham Bay. Yes. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. How y'all doing, man? I'm Noble Beecham Bay. I am out of Alabama, and I'm excited. I'm very excited. This is some of the best things that happened to me in my life, coming from where I've come from. But the highest heights of those who reached by those who reach the greatest depths, as the prophet say. So Islam.
Islam, yes sir. Peace and love. All right, we also have Melissa Martina Forbes. I don't have everybody's name down pat yet. We have some new members. You wanna introduce yourself? I think she's at work. She sounds a little bit messy over there. I think she's working. We also have Luna Wolf. Luna Wolf. Mute yourself for a minute, Melissa. Thank you. We have Luna Wolf. Luna Wolf.
Peace, everyone. I'm Luna Wolf. I'm out of Chicago, Illinois. I'm very happy to be here. Happy to be invited. I really enjoyed it. And I'm excited to, spend the rest of these weeks with you guys.
Yes, ma'am. Very glad to have you. Thank you very much. Next up is Noble Bradford. Sorry. How do you say your name, brother? You know your name. Come on now.
Noble Thornton Bay.
Noble Thornton Bay, that's right. All right, give us a little introduction.
Peace and light, everybody. Thank you for having me here. This has been a fun experience for me today from California. And I'm looking forward to these next 5 weeks that we have in learning and growth and connecting with each and every last one of you, and just coming together in unity to for a better cause. So I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to be here and being all right with me to be here. I'm ready for round 2. This was good.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Noble Thornton Bay. Islam, peace and love.
Yeah.
We have Noble Mac L. Noble Mac L, you present? See if she's still in. 1 second. I think she got logged out. We can move forward with Amanda.
I'm going to take a minute here just to say thank you to Mark Tull. He's a very dear friend of mine, for being with us tonight from New York, Long Island.
Queens. Almost Long Island. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mark Tull. I'm actually from Queens, not Long Island.
Awesome.
Thanks to the Chief Governor for inviting me. It certainly has been interesting. I've never been a part of something like this, so it's all a learning experience for me. So thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome. Big up.
Peace.
Peace. Chief, big up.
No, you know what? I'm honored to see you grow. You know that? And, I love the fact that more of our people are stepping up in an effort to do more for one another, so we all can be strong together. And see where we can start from one, we turn into many. And the connection from Chief and I, look what has brought about all of us. So we're going to continue to do this, and we're going to continue to stay focused. Islam to all my brothers and sisters, Asoyo to all my chiefs, and again, to the great love of God and the great spirits. Let's stay peaceful, let's stay humble, and let's complete this mission together.
Yeah, with great honor to you, Chief Big Up. I just want everyone to know Chief Big Up has played such a major major role in this. From my perspective, I honor Chief Big Up greatly. I personally believe he is a leader of leaders, and he's doing so many things in the background to make all of this possible. So I want to honor you, Chief.
Thank
Great
you.
honor to you. Thank you very much.
Honest.
I know we have quite a few people, and like I said, we open it up. If you want to say hello, this is a forum where there is no judgment. We're not looking into your background. We're not here to be judgmental. We're not here to condemn anybody. We are here with one goal in mind, is to lift people up and to build people.
Prime Minister Segura, I want you to meet My Excellency, a Kiwi that's one of our newest enrolled members. Introduce yourself, Mr. Segura.
Greetings, peace and love, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Very well.
Good.
Peace and love.
Beautiful, beautiful. Peace and love.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Peace.
I just want to say it's an honor and pleasure to serve you guys and serve the people, and hopefully I can do something and share my wealth of knowledge. It's been a long journey, gentlemen. I'd like to say on behalf of the Council of El Barak, we are an established council, the only one in the land on United States soil. So with that being said, I also speak on behalf of the Mexica Empire, as well as other organizations, as well as USAR, if you are familiar with that. Just an honor. It's been a long journey. I've met great people along this road. Mr. Big Up has brought me along, and we share a lot of common goals and experiences, and definitely try to change what has happened, with our youth and society. My background is as such, just to give you an example, law enforcement, 24 years. I was special forces in the service. I was I'm a Moorish American since 2007. I've been a Mason for the last 25 years. So understanding private and public, it's been a long journey. And I hate to say everything that I've come across within the public sector. It's brought to light all the hatred and all the disparity among groups, and I'm definitely trying to make a change. I don't want to serve the public. I want to serve where, being lawful and justful, right? On the right side of law. I hope we can make change together, and I'm looking forward to working with every single one of you guys. And I greatly appreciate the opportunity to talk. Thank you.
Great blessings.
Thank you so much.
Let me speak from the other side of the Atlantic. My name is Emmanuel, and I thank Dr. Kiwi Kalloo for inviting me along. I had written him some months ago, and I was pleased that he got back. And as a brother in a distant land, I thought it wise that we can widen the scope of the reach of the University for Global Peace, a subject for which I'm very keen about, and also teach young children through my organization called Peace World. But the website is peaceworldproject.org. Peaceworldproject.org. You'll be able to see that we're actually working at the same wavelength, because I'm so pleased the way you weaved in loads of Bible references to drive home the points you have led us through this evening. And because of the time difference, I may not participate longer than this first session. I'm wondering whether there's a way the notes could be sent across. Then I'd be very much appreciative to read them later on. But going forward, I have all the dates for the future meetings, and I hope to come along with you so that we can build more bridges of cooperation and development, and not walls
Yes.
that divide people.
Thank you for coming on, brother. It's really been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love the opportunity, and we're looking for further collaboration.
Thank you very much.
And I'd like to also introduce Mr. Ivan, which I met through our Chief Running Eagle and Chief Iron Turtle. I want to Thank y'all for also being on the call tonight. We're going to definitely pull this together for our mission to bring the Garifuna tribe in with our peace mission. And again, I am honored to be able to take this stand to make my sacrifice for my ancestors to do so. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. I know it's getting late for everybody, and making these sacrifices to do what we do, it's well worth it. That's the reason why we try our best to appreciate everyone, because we understand it's a sacrifice. Esther, I know you made it on. Thank you so much for coming on. I know it's been a challenge, but thank you again.
You're welcome, Dr. Kiwi, and I would like to take this moment to introduce Adana Caesar, whom I have invited to the program.
Great.
Adana.
Hi, good night, everyone. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to this 5 weeks that's coming up and learning and growing and passing knowledge and peace on to everyone.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
You're welcome.
I think I'm going to have to call out on my folks because they're in my class and they're sitting so quietly. So let me first call out on Doreen Burinji out of Uganda. Doreen, would you kindly greet everyone? If you don't mind, I'll be grateful.
Yes. Good evening to you all. Hi. I tried to log in earlier on, but I couldn't. I think I had the wrong login. And so I have been waiting, thinking that maybe it's from that side until Dr. Michael Steele sent me the new login. Well, I want to say hi. I'm part of Dr. Michael Steele's class. He's my mentor, and I look forward to the 5 weeks, and I know I'm not going to remain the same. When I entered into Zoom, I found Dr. Kiwi Kalloo teaching about many things that really I love to hear in my ears. And so I agree with the previous speaker who requested for the presentation, if it's possible, to send us by email so we can catch up, so that we are not left behind in the next class. So I look forward to meeting everybody, and I'm in the Democratic Republic of Congo, just like Dr. Michael Steele, and I want to work with you in your organization. So thank you so much, and let us remain in peace. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. What we'll do is, just like the last sessions we had, every session that we do is recorded, and I make it available for everyone. So that will happen.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
If I would also, introduce Olukoya and his wife out of Nigeria. Olukoya, would you kindly greet us in the class this evening, please?
Thank you, Excellency. I'm glad to be here, and my wife is also here. And I don't want to repeat all that Doreen has said, but we appreciate the ones that we heard. And this is a great class, and I also appreciate the people that I'm seeing their faces, and I look forward to the next couple of weeks that we'll be together to learn and be mentored. I appreciate our mentor, Dr. Michael Steele, who we are members of his mentorship class of Steel, a very great and wonderful place to be. And we really look forward to being part of what is going on here. I would like to allow my wife to say something. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Adela Olukoya. I'm new here, just like my husband is new here. We really want to appreciate the opportunity to be here. Bishop Michael still invited us, and we know that we're going to be blessed here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We look forward to the rest of the training. Thank you.
Welcome.
And finally, I will introduce Reverend Daniel Sapuru and his wife. Reverend Daniel Sapuru is an elder in the class of steel as well. He's one of our elders. He's the father in the class based on his age and wisdom. And he's proficient in French as well as English, and he's based in Nigeria. Reverend Daniel, would you kindly greet us, please?
Good evening. I just want to thank God for Bishop Steele, who invited us to this program. And we will make ourselves available these 5 weeks or so. And by his grace, we will be agents of peace in the world, because that is what we are actually projecting ourselves for. So we thank God, and I want to thank you, Bishop Steele, for bringing us into this, because it is very, very important. Since we started attending the class of steel, obviously we have learned a lot. And I believe that what we are going to do here, these 5 weeks, will contribute to what we have learned, and I mean, to add to it. So I have my wife here, and my wife's name is Patience. So she is Patience Sapuru, and I believe she would want to say hi to all of us.
Well, I greet all of you in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, Bishop, our Bishop, for inviting us. We are grateful. And it's good to see all of you. You are beautiful faces. And I pray that the Lord will continue to help all of us, even as we learn through you and under the feet of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The Lord continue to bless all of you for availing yourself, even to thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I would like to
Love light.
I would like to introduce myself. My name is Noble Martinell. I was introduced to this program by Chief Muskoki, and I'm glad to be here and to uplift fallen humanity from consciousness, leading to the dark to light. And day by day, we build to be universal, connected to the cosmos, and I appreciate the unity amongst humanity. Shall we continue the peace and harmony?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love light.
And I would like to introduce
Halloween.
myself. I'm Chief Elzone Levi, and I was brought on by Chief Muskoki as well. And I'm glad to be here. And we are going to go on this wonderful journey to uplift fallen humanity. And I can't wait to grow with all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, Kalloo, I try getting in so much time. I must say I'm peace and love to my people. All the chiefs, big up. Kawaki, every one of the chiefs on board, pastors, everybody. I must say, yo, it was just a little journey in the beginning trying to get on. Because the link gave me a little bit of a problem in the first time. And I guess a lot of my brothers and sisters who wanted to join have a little difficulty. I figure like there may be 1 or 2 of them is in the meeting, but if Venetia, is you there? I got an Empress I invited there. Venetia, you there?
Yes, I'm here, Chief.
All right. So this is one of the Empress that I invited, and she's gonna be hitting in the meeting and assisting in the universal peace, global development, everything. So Just introduce yourself, Empress. Venetia.
I'm Venetia Black. I'm from Jamaica, and I'm here. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Kalloo, it's an honor being in this meeting. And you know what I mean, like, trust me, we had a little difficulties, but anyways, we'll pass over that hurdle because great things is about to accomplish. Even though
Thank
I
you,
wasn't
Chief.
there for the beginning, the power and the knowledge that you share, it's always in my heart to share the good news and communicate with others in a more realistic way. Put away all the negative energy and learn how to unify in a global peace for the better cause of humanity. So, you know, love, light.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Love.
And love.
Sir.
All right. So if there's anybody that want to say something before we close off, I just want to say thank you again. And for the next session, I'm gonna try to cut that link a little shorter so that it will be recognized easily.
I just want to say, give a shout out to Damon. Peace and love, Damon. I see you over there in the cut, man. I ain't get to hear your voice or holler at you, but I appreciate you, man, for all the last classes you taught, man. Got good skills. I appreciate that.
I just wanted to say good evening to everyone. I am Empress Sayala Hanat Sahabasupe L. I was invited by Chief Wasaki, and I just wanted to tell you all how absolutely grateful I am to be here. You all have taken my breath away. I have searched for you all for so long. Chief Governor, the intensity of the information you just shared with us, the amount of light and truth and law and justice and compassion that's coming through what you're sharing with us is just absolutely remarkable, and just such a beautiful opportunity to be, you know, here with you all and bear witness to, you know, we really are going through a transition of the ages, the age of light and love, restoration, reformation. It really is entering in, and it's intensifying. So it's so important that each one of you, you're all so beautiful, know that we really are being called to be champions to anchor in this new age. And everything that each one of you are doing really is just an absolutely remarkable example of just how powerful God is, and how nothing will keep us from returning this world to a new age of peace, prosperity, and love. So thank you all very much. I'm very grateful to be here with you tonight.
Thank you.
Before we get off, I'd also like to introduce myself. My name is Rhea Bay. I'm also tribally known as Gaia Mystic Wolf. I'm the head Mingo in training with the Iroquois Council Talkton American Nation. So I'm very, very grateful to be here, excited to be here again. I just wanted to give a quick background about myself. I went, actually my whole life, I've worked with communities and families, and I also am a teacher as well. And my focus was always in social justice and to help to lessen the gap of disparity between different groups and demographics of people, specifically for our indigenous people around, you know, here and in the Americas. So I am just really excited to be able to take that to a whole new level and to expand that, to be able to move in leadership and to move in justice and equity, and to be able to expand that with such an amazing group of people filled with knowledge, life experience. I'm really positioning myself as a learner from all of you. So I'm really just grateful for the energy. I'm grateful for the love. I'm grateful for the information. And I'm just excited to participate in this again and to be able to walk out of this in my own light, and to be able to spread my own light and to spread love and peace and truth and justice to those of our indigenous people and everyone around the world. So again, I'm just grateful to be here, and I just appreciate everyone's you know, want for just making a better world for us, and we can do it. We can do it.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Before you go, Dr. Kalloo, with your permission, I'll be grateful I would not like to miss out Bishop Dr. Comfort that I mentioned out of Ghana. She had some troubles getting on, but she's here. Please allow me just to let her to greet you from Ghana.
Sure.
That's Dr. Comfort. Please greet us from Ghana. Okay, Bishop Comfort. Okay. I see her video is there, but she does not have access to her audio. I think the next class we will have to sort out her audio. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Comfort, if you can speak.
Hello. Hello, His Excellencies.
Hello. Can hear you.
I give thanks to the Almighty God for giving me this opportunity to be on this class, in the class of still with His Excellency Bishop Dr. Still, who is our mentor and who, by the grace of God, connected me to this group. All through my life, all that I wanted to do is to charter a cause for people who are in need. I've been in the forefront of unionism for a while, and I have been championing the lives of people, bringing them from the working sector to the government sector as a mouthpiece for the workers. And also as a minister of God, I also like to see people being delivered from bondages and from all walk of life. And I think that being on this course will enable me to be enlightened more about how to bring people into realization, how to talk people into agreement, and how to make peace actually in the lives of people, human beings. And I'm very optimistic that I'm in the right place, and I'll be mentored, and I'll be seated, and I'll learn a lot, and I'll be of a beneficial to the entire world.
All right, thank you so much.
Bishop Dr. Still, His Excellency, for allowing me to be in this group.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone, I think we're gonna have to, we come to the end of our session. Thank you all very much for being here. We apologize for the delays. We would have everything sorted out so that the next time we won't be going through all of this. So I ask Almighty God, blessing upon everyone, the favor of God richly bless you. Safe journeys to those that has to travel. In Jesus' name. All right, blessings, everyone. We will reconvene on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll talk. God bless you.
Good night. God bless everybody. Good night,
God bless
Chief.
everybody.
Love life,
Good night,
love
buddy.
life.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Love life to everyone. Shalom.